Hello, everyone. And how is everyone doing today? It is time for Entrepreneurial Corners. And today we are honored to welcome Miss Antoinette Toni Griffin, author, entrepreneur, content creator, and healing advocate to Entrepreneurial Corners Live. Antoinette is a author of The Thunderbird Rising, a tale of triumphant over narcissistic control and trauma. A powerful and courageous story of survival, healing, and reclaiming identity after emotional abuse. Through storytelling and truth, she empowers others, especially women, to rise, heal, and walk boldly in their purpose. So, want to welcome everyone today to Entrepreneur Corners. And hello, Miss Antoinette. And how are you doing today, dear?
I am fine. I'm fine. I'm peachy. Hi, Cherise. Grand Rising, everyone.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you
I'm
doing?
good. I'm
All
good.
right. So, Miss Antoinette, tell us a little bit about yourself and, introduce yourself to the world.
Okay, as you know, my name is Antoinette Toni Griffin. I am the author of The Thunderbird Rising. It's a tale of triumph over narcissistic abuse and control and trauma. Um, I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and at the age of 6, we moved to Chicago, where this became our permanent place of residence. Um, I'm here to talk about my life and the reason why I wrote this book. It was a memoir of my life, and it's a self help book to help other people who have gone through such experiences, traumatic experiences, to help them to get through it, to cope in life. I have a lot of different kinds of advices and information, to help those who are like self-helpers that like to do things by themselves. Um, and that's a reason why I wrote this book, to get it
Oh,
out there. Yeah.
all right. I know that's right. So, how I want to ask you, what really inspired you to become an author?
Well, as a young person, um, being an empath, I had really, really hard time expressing myself for the traumatic experiences that I went through. So, and then I started to like write it down. I had the spirit whisper in my ear, "You are a prophetic writer. Write down these things, and whatever you write down, I'm going to honor them. They were going to be honored, whatever it is. So be as positive as you possibly can." And so I started to write. I started journaling first, and talk about expressing myself. Because I didn't know how to express myself before because of the experiences, and I didn't know who to trust and everything. And that's the reason why I went into writing, because it helped. This is an expression tool for me, an outlet. And that's how I got into the writing. And I started writing things like in my journal. And then I would put pieces together as I remember my life. And I have a memory like an elephant. So, but I needed to write it down, and because the older I got, how lifing, and the things I forgot about, I wrote them down so that I can go back to them when I was ready to put this book together.
So, how does it feel to be a first time author?
Oh wow, that was an experience in itself. I could write a whole book about that experience. Oh my God, what I had to go through, and then being a self publisher as well. Um, it's like no other. I had to learn things by scratch, who to go to, where I'm going to get this published, the manuscript. I had to go through the editing process to get all of that, make sure that mistakes, I had to go over it 1,000 times to make sure the words are spelled correctly and everything is in place and in order and chronologically, the happenings and everything. The pictures, I did include pictures in my photos in my book of us younger and where we used to live and everything else. But it was an experience. It was really, really something that I went through. That it was, I started writing, and And it was like, at first, I started writing this book years ago. I would do like interviews with family members over the phone, and ask them certain questions about myself, as them interviewing them about me, so that, for my book. And I went through that process, and everything. But wow. And then, when I put it all together, and I, got it all under there and get it all in order, it was really traumatic and emotional for me, because I had to relive those instances, those incidents and things like that. I had to go back through there and remember. And for a moment, I paused a great deal, because it was too overwhelming for me. But it felt freeing once I did get it down on paper, and to express myself, what I really wanted to say to people. Yeah. And it was, I'm like, oh my God, this is something that's going to be, for the books. And I got to get it out there, because so many people are waiting for it. It's like, um, if I don't do it, it won't get done. And there's so many people out there that's waiting for the work that I have done, what I put into this book. A lot of time, sweat, tears, you know, um, and, I got it done. It was so freeing, so calming once it was all done. And then I had to learn how to, I had to do some research on how to do the self editing and the self publishing, the introduction, and how a book goes. I had a few classes of this when I was in my master's program, so I did know how to put the book together. But like all of the citations and things, all of that, getting it all organized, and you got to have everything, every quote has to be cited and everything. So it was something. It took a lot of time, but it over the years, I finally got it together, and I did it. I did it.
I know that's right. I know that's right. So in your life, I wanted to ask you, how do you balance being a first time author and having a 9 to 5?
How I do that? Oh, it's what I do is, I kind of plan out my day, what I'm going to do the next day. I do it the day before or the night before, write it out or plan it out. Think about it. Okay, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this. And, and I set a goal that is like, not so hard to accomplish for the next day. And then I go about doing it. Um, and, working has its hours, I do that. I put in the time that I have to do that, and when I have certain time, I can come home, what we call fallback time, or shift time. I come back home and I take a rest, because I'm a driver, so I have to get all the rest that I can, and then I put down, I document what I'm going to write and everything, so that I won't forget it. And then I, go about putting it, uploading it, or speaking it into, recording it, and everything else, until it's ready for me to put it together. So, and it's and then I'm like, I have, grandchildren, and I'm surrounded by children all the time. It can be distracting, but I make time, I focus, I meditate, things like that, so that I can get this done. I fast a lot. I do a lot of fasting, because other than that, I know how I am. If I don't get this done, I don't fast and focus, it won't get done. Or it'll take a long time. Because I am a chronic procrastinator sometimes too. So, you
Oh,
know, acknowledge that.
sometimes it's good to acknowledge some things about ourselves, and it's so good that we have to really, really get into being honest with ourselves when we put the words on the paper. We're putting the words on the paper. I also wanted to say, so how long did it take you to write your book?
How long?
How long?
I want to say, I'm gonna say like maybe 10 years. I'm gonna say that because it was me, my personal issues that I had to overcome. Um, like I said, I was emotionally traumatized as a child, essayed by family members and friends of the family. I went through a very traumatic childhood.
Yes.
So when I wrote things down, I cried about it so much, and I had reached an emotional plateau that I couldn't, and that's the reason why it took me so long. I couldn't like get through it, but I said I got to do this, and the Most High just continue to, and I want to thank the Most High and my spiritual team
Mhm.
that got me through this. You can do this, you know, do some fasting, do that, do what you got to do, and just get focused. Go
Yeah.
within yourself. You're going to do this, and don't worry about it. I'm here. I'm going to protect you. You're good. And so I was able to do that by my focusing. I created affirmations that I wanted to, you know, whatever it was that I wanted to set a goal for. I
Yes.
created the affirmations for that specific thing. And then I constantly, every day, I would say these affirmations. And I got like hundreds of affirmations that I have in my voice, my own voice. I, and other things that helped me to get through it, you know, counseling, you know, going for professional help and things like that to help me get through this. So that it took me, like I say, 10 years overall. I remember from the first time I was used to work for Chicago Transit Authority. For whoever knows who that is, that's CTA in
Mhm.
Chicago, driving the bus operator, driving those huge buses for the city of Chicago. And one day there was a gentleman that got on the bus, and it was a crowded bus, and he stood at the beginning. I knew he had something to say because, you know, my spirit let me know I'm very perceptive. And I didn't say anything. He just stood right there at the where the fare box was. And he
Mhm.
said, he said, God told me to tell you that you're gonna write a book. And now
Mhm.
I was already thinking about this book. And so I already knew what my assignment was, but it
Mhm.
was because of the emotional trauma. It took me a long time to get there. But
Mhm.
he confirmed it that day. That you're gonna write this book, but you're not gonna be at this job for forever. But you
Mhm.
are gonna write this book, and the Most High, if he wants to make you a millionaire, he's going to do that, but you got to write this book. So
Yeah.
that was my, you know, I'm like, that was a confirmation of my assignment. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get this book. So it wasn't a day that went by that the Most High would not remind me, get this book done. It's important. And because I was like, well, you know, who wants to know? I felt like, who wants to know about my life? It's, you know, all those experiences I had, and how am I supposed to help somebody, you
Yeah.
know? But he reminded me that I am a prophetic writer. Write it down. If you wanted to come to pass, write it down. And that's what I did. I wrote that down. I wrote it down. I finally wrote it down
Mhm.
maybe like uh maybe 2 3 years ago. I wrote it down. I said, okay, I'm gonna write this down, and then I'm gonna start saying this affirmation that I'm gonna write this book, and it's gonna be a bestseller, and I'm gonna, you know, and then finally, some years later, everything fell in place. I'm like, Lord, if you want me to do this, then you have to provide for me what it is that you want me to do to get this book out here. And
Mhm.
so everything fell in place. And then there, I started on this book, and I did not stop
Mhm.
until I finished it. I think the overall, from start to finish, maybe about 3 to 6 months to the completion of this book when I really, really focused in on it. That's how long. But the overall was like maybe 10 years because of the stop and go. Yeah,
Yeah.
to stop and go. I mean, you know,
Yes.
experience.
Yes, ma'am. So, can you read an excerpt from your book for us, please?
I sure can. I sure can. Okay, let me get this. Let me get it together. It kind of like my page got lost. Okay. I don't know if I took it out, but one moment. Okay, it's the spiritual awakening. Um, I'm gonna say a quote from a Charles Bukowski. What matters most is how well you walk through the fire. Okay. Spirituality, and these are my words, spirituality involves the recognition of a feeling or sense or belief that there is something greater than oneself, something more to being human than sensory experience, and that the greater whole of which we are part is cosmic or divine. It knows that our lives have significance in a context beyond a mundane everyday existence at the level of biological needs that drive selfishness and aggression. It means understanding that we are a significant part of a purposeful unfolding of life in our universe. Spirituality involves exploring specific universal themes like love and compassion, altruism, life after death, wisdom, and truth, with the knowledge that some people, such as saints or enlightened individuals, have achieved and manifested higher levels of development than the ordinary person. Aspiring to embody the attributes of such inspirational examples often become an integral part of the journey through life for spiritual inclined people. And I go on to talk about. Do you want me to read more, or is that good?
I, you
Okay,
fine, you fine, you fine.
okay.
Thank
I'm
you for
gonna.
that. No, go
Okay,
ahead. You go
okay.
ahead. Another, some more.
Okay. The spiritual journey involves healing and affirming the ego so that positive states are experienced. With secure self esteem, belief in self worth, and a capacity for love and generosity, a person becomes less constrained by ego defenses. An opening of the heart is an essential aspect of true spirituality. In this regard, one may question the spiritual nature of masochistic religious practices such as self flagellation, which is based on a belief in the wickedness inherent in the body rather than on any real connection with it, and therefore compassionate for the body. The development of spirituality is generally recognized as requiring some practice or discipline to make progress. So, spiritual development often involves spontaneous happenings that cannot be accounted for scientifically but may be attributed to an external force, grace. For example, if you stay with the abuse, you can have a lifetime of negative echoes of what happened in the past. I was diagnosed with PTSD. I sometimes wake up and remember some other messed up thing my mom said or did to me. The way I reacted to things, good or evil, shows that I was abused. And then, I go on to say how I overcame a lot of that because of my spirituality, my faith. I believe in the law of attraction, the law of vibration, things like that. That also helped me to get through. Um, that it was a really, really traumatic experience for me because it felt like my soul was split. Um, and a lot of times I left my body because it was too much to bear. But the Most High would not let me leave permanently, and so I had to stay here and to help others.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, that is our journey. When we on a self discovery path that God has put us on. And we are always in a motion of healing. Always in the motion of healing. And I um, wanted to say that I'm very proud of you as being a first time author because it takes a lot to put truthness, your truthness on paper, and then to really go into a really kind of deep self evaluation while you're writing at the same time. That was it. You have moments of crying. You have moments of like I can't really believe I'm writing this story. Then sometimes we had that moment of self doubt. No, I ain't writing this. I don't think I want to write this. I changed my mind, and then you be like, then when you about to change your mind or not to write, then God gives you something else to write in the book, and you be like, see, there you go again, Lord. There you go. And it's like a continuation, and and he's, and he leads you and guides you through the process of being a first time author if you are willing to listen. Sometimes we don't think our words have value, but God has placed within us that our words mean everything. Our words, whether we say them or we write them, they have a meaning. And we learn that, when we read the word. We got all these authors in this book. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking, that just can't that was just a revelation to me. You think about all the authors that have written in the Bible. You got James,
Mm-hmm.
Luke, Mark, Matthew, you got Moses, you got all these authors. They're authors. And
Mm-hmm.
they're the first authors. you really sit down and think about it. Okay, well, God asked them to write their stuff. So, come on, what you gonna do? So, and that's the way I just had that come in my, I just had God put that thought in my head. He said, the Bible is the first book. The Bible is the first writers, the first authors. So if they could tell their story, you could tell yours too. And,
Exactly.
and so what kind of feedback have you gotten from your book so far?
Um, from one of my readers, the feedback was it was the most memorable one. Um, let me know that she had no idea that I was going through this. When she read the book, she said that it was very informative and that she had no idea, that that I had such a traumatic childhood, and it was really, really, brought her to tears when she read it. It was a nice, beautiful read. Um, and that, and after that, she was, I guess a little bit more compassionate towards me and more empathetic and things like that. And it was a little bit more, I guess loving towards me because before it was, maybe conflicts, relationship conflicts or whatever.
Mhm.
But after reading my book, she just couldn't believe it. Like, what in the world?
Yeah, like
What in
really?
the world? Are you serious? Yes, I am very serious. I'm a person that I don't speak a lot. I don't express myself as I should, but now I use writing to express myself. And that, that's a way to get it out, to put it on paper. Um, for the world, they want to read it. They're available from the read it to, and it's a lot of trinkets in there,
Mhm.
advice, things like that, steps to take, that you need to get you through
Yes,
this journey, life's journey, when life is lifing and you've been, and to get past that traumatic childhood, adulthood, or whatever it is that you're going through, the
yes,
traumatic period in your life that's really, really hard and tough.
yes.
But yeah, yeah. So yeah, I am so thankful that I wrote it, and I want to talk about this. You see
The book cover.
this is the eagle that's
Mhm.
rising.
Okay.
This eagle,
Mhm.
I call it a thunderbird. It's
Okay.
also a symbol of for our indigenous people,
Mhm.
the thunderbird, and it's different colors because it's the rainbow colors. The
Yes.
Most High told me that um, I'm going to give you a double rainbow, and I'd never seen a double rainbow in my life.
Mhm.
And I remember he said that is my promises. My promises to you that my word is true. Whenever you go through any kind of um traumatic experience or anything, life is better, much better now because I know how to deal with it. But when and cope and everything, but when you're
Yeah.
going through that, remember me and remember my rainbow. That is my covenant to you. And so that's the reason why I have it in this color. I remember I walked out of my house one day. It was a couple of years ago, I think it
Mhm.
was, and it was in the summertime. And my grandson and my great grandson were outside. It was had just finished raining,
Mhm.
and my grandson told his son to come in the house and go get grand. And so the baby came in and said, grand, daddy wants you. Okay, I come outside, and as soon as I open up the door to step outside, this huge double rainbow was over my house, my whole neighborhood. It was so
Mhm.
close to me, I could reach out and touch it. And oh my God, it brought me to tears. I
Yeah.
and I did record it, so I have a video of it. The most
Uh-huh.
beautiful thing I ever saw. It's so big, and
Mhm.
it was a double rainbow, and that reminded me of his covenant, of the Most High's covenant
Yes.
to me and to my family.
Mhm.
And that's the reason why I made this book, me rising up out of the ashes in the storms, defeating these storms and overcoming, and
Yeah.
with the color of the rainbow. And that's the
Okay.
reason why it's my
Yeah.
aura is like multicolored. So yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
Hmm.
Oh, it's a beautiful book cover.
Thank you so
That's
much.
a beautiful, beautiful book cover.
Thank you.
Um, and I want to, so in this, so in your first time, as your first time being a author, a first time author, how have you approached your marketing for your book? How
Um,
do your marketing for your book?
Okay, I've made like different kinds of videos and I will put them on my social media platforms on
Mhm.
YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram for the most part. I've done ads also too on YouTube and on Facebook marketing my book. I created a whole business page for it on Facebook that would sell my books. Um, and that's how I went about marketing it, on these platforms, using, different kinds of methods like, videos, making my own personal ads with it, talking about it, and, just a little bit of excerpts out of it. Um, and post it on the different platforms, and that's the way I went about it so far. And then
Mhm.
also it's on Amazon. It's available on Amazon. And and also this interview, this is another way of me promoting my book.
Wow.
It's in paperback and in ebook forms, those two
Mhm.
formats at
Yeah.
this time. So later on I'll do the hardcover as well.
Oh, okay. So, what advice would you give a first time author?
For a first time author, I would say get you a team together. If you don't want to do this thing alone, because it's going to take a team to get it done.
Mhm.
um whether it's family or friends, you need that support, encouragement. Sometimes you need that push to get you going to get it done. Once you got to focus on it. Stay focused. Do some meditation if you have to, and some fasting if you have to. Get you an editor if you need one, to go. Once you get the manuscript together, you got to go through all of that process. Get an editor to go over it with you and see what needs to be, if this is acceptable. And then you find you a good publishing company. If you don't want to do a self-publishing, which I did a self-publishing. I had to learn how to do that. Uh, my daughter, she's an author as well, and my sister is. So they helped me, to go to the different steps that
Mhm.
I needed to get this completed. Because I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get this? I don't know how to get the cover together. And I had to choose the right cover for. I know what I wanted, but I
Yeah.
had to choose that. And the different kinds of the title. I had to get that. Choose a title for it. All the citations, I had to get those are all, the quotes and things that I put in my book. Excuse me. I had to get all of that
Yeah.
together. So it takes time. There's the process.
Mhm.
Um, the title, then the book, and then, what you want to say. You have it all together, put it get it organized in chapters and things like that. You get your introduction together. People that you want to, uh, pay homage to, get them, dedicated to, which I had dedicated to my mother,
Mhm.
and other family members, too, in my book, and for the support and help, and everything.
Mhm.
Um, but I got me an editor, after I wrote everything, to go back and to proofread it and everything with me, and to,
Mhm.
what's going to stay, what's going to have to go,
Mhm.
put a little money aside because it's going to cost you a pretty penny, have some savings ready, for it,
Yeah.
then, budget for that. Yeah. Because it's going to, certain things that you need for it. Yeah. To get it
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Did you
Mm-hmm.
have a graphic arts designer design your book cover?
No, I designed it.
Praise the Lord.
This is my design.
Girl,
You
I
see
thought,
me?
look, I thought you had a graphic art designer create that for you.
No.
It looks
This,
very professional.
thank you. I did that. I chose the how I wanted to have me, the bird, the
Uh-huh.
Thunderbird rising up out of the through the clouds breaking through, and you see
Yeah.
the storm behind her. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The lightning and everything else, she overcame it. She like a
Thank,
phoenix, but not a phoenix, but a thunderbird rising. There it
yes.
is. Yes, I designed that, and I put the colors to it. That was my design.
And you doing myself every day. All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, yeah, I just say this, girl. You got some graphics, graphic design art skills. Okay.
Thank you. Thank
Because
you.
I love that cover. I love it. You
Thank you.
know.
I appreciate that.
And so, um, where can the people find you? Where can the people find you?
You
What?
can go on I have a website. You can go on AntoinetteInc.com, where
Mhm.
you can find me. You can find me on Family Is Everything Real on YouTube, and also Antoinette Inc. That's in my new YouTube channel on YouTube. You can go to Family Is Everything Real on TikTok. You can go to Antoinette Toni Griffin on TikTok as well. And in on Instagram, Toni Griffin, you're still Antoinette Griffin. You can find me there on Instagram. And also on Facebook, Antoinette Griffin. You can find me there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I want to say thank you so much for coming and sharing with us about your book. And I want to say congratulations as a first time author.
Thank
And
you.
are you working on anything new?
Yes, and I'm gonna give you the title. It's called "In My Father's House." Um, I found my father when I was in my early 50s. I'll put it that way.
Yes.
I had looked for him all my life, and I finally found him. But after that, he was deceased. I felt that in my spirit that he was gone, but I didn't stop my searching. And I discovered that I have sisters and a brother on my dad's side. We have created a beautiful relationship, because we're all adults, and everything. And I discovered that my brother and my sisters, all of our names, this is my dad's doing, even though I was separated from him at a young age. All of our names begin with the letter A. So, and I also, my sisters, they were looking for, well, especially one of them. She was looking for. She knew she had a sister out there somewhere, and she knew my name started with the letter A because that was my father's, our father's mo. And she said, everybody thought she was crazy or whatever. But and then when I popped up, she made an A. As I say it that way, out of everybody, because here I am in the flesh, and people couldn't believe it because we look so much alike. But we've
Yes.
been searching for each other since we were children. Yeah,
Oh,
and we finally found each other. But the book I'm working on it now. It's called In My Father's House.
okay, all right. Well, y'all heard it first here, okay? She got another book coming. So be prepared, be prepared, be prepared. And I want to say thank you, Miss Antoinette. Thank you so much for coming today. And just keep us posted, keep us,
Okay,
keep us in the loop, let us know what you're doing. And always, 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 always advertise your book, okay? Always
will
advertise.
do. I
All
will.
right. I want
Thank
to
you
thank
so
you.
much
You're welcome, baby. You
for
have anything
having me.
you would like to say?
Thank you so much for having me. It is an honor for me to be here amongst you great people, and thank you so much. Go and get my book. Love y'all.
Yeah. Love you too, baby. If you have an inkling, you want to go and purchase Miss Antoinette's book, you can go find it on, you can go find it on Amazon. This is the title of her book, author of The Thunderbird Rising, A Tale of Triumph Over Narcissistic Control and Trauma. You can go to paperback on Amazon, or you can go to Kindle Unlimited, okay? So you can find Miss Antoinette on YouTube under Antoinette Inc. You can find her on Instagram, Tony Griff 29, and you can find her on Facebook. So you can't say you can't find somebody, okay? And thank you, Miss Antoinette, for coming today. And you have a blessed day as well, okay?
I
All
will,
right,
and you do the same. Thank
Okay,
you.
baby. All right. Have a blessed day.
You too. Bye bye.
All right, everyone. How is everyone doing? All right. Sharice Johnson Moore here. I just want to let you know that if you would like to be a guest on the show, please reach out to us for the Entrepreneurial Corners. Okay. And you can fill out your form today. Yes, there is an investment required to be on this show, but we still want to have you. We want to bring all the exposure. We want to tell you, we want to tell all our followers, we want to tell all the people on all the social media apps that we are on that we want to bring the exposure to you. I want to say thank you, Miss Antoinette, again for coming in to Entrepreneur Corners Live. And if you would like to be a guest, please do not hesitate to come on, okay? All right. I love you all, and I want you all to have a blessed day. Bye, babies. See you next time on Entrepreneur Corners.